What is up, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Today's December the 18th, and you know what that means. I'm still in quotes like Michael Cole, but today's the 18th, and that means three things. Number one, today is the birthday of the man I'm wearing right now, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's why I got this look and this shirt. Also, today is the day of Trish Stratus, everyone's childhood crush from the Ruthless Aggression and Attitude. But today I'm going to do a top 10 special review for another birthday guy, the whole freaking show, Rob Van Dam. Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay Per View, whatever you want to dub him, he is the whole freaking thing. And today we're going to do a top 10 of that. We start at number 10 with RVD versus Chris Benoit at SummerSlam 2002. However, as great as this match is, due to the fact that Chris is in it and due to circumstances surrounding Summer 2007, wrestling won't acknowledge this. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that this is a great match. Benoit dominated most of the match with his technical skills, isolating RVD's right arm, I believe. But despite all of that, RVD was very competitive and resilient on the crossface, which is why his arm was isolated in the first place. And it took a second frog splash, because the first one was not successful, to get the win against the Rabbit Wolverine, Chris Benoit. At number 9, we have, alongside his partner Sabu, we have Hayabusa and is it Jensen or Benson? But this tag team extreme match took place on August the 2nd, 1998. This was for the ECW Tag Team Championships, I believe, and it was during the time where RVD was the whole freaking show, Mr. Pay Per View, and managed by Alfonso and that annoying whistle. I'm just kidding. It's not annoying, but sometimes even Joey Styles said he wished Alfonso would just swallow that whistle, because I'm telling y'all, when I go to bed tonight, all I'm going to hear is Alfonso and that freaking whistle. I mean, just in the quiet, all I'm going to hear is that darn whistle, because every time I watch an ECW match, I got to deal with the whistle. But nonetheless, great match. The ending was amazing when RVD and Sabu did a double off the top rope move. Sabu leg drop, and I believe RVD frog splash. Both of them putting their opponents through the table at the same time and winning their tag team championships in ECW. At number 8, speaking of ECW, we have a rematch from Living Dangerously, I believe, and that is a rematch at Hardcore Heaven against Jerry Lynn. This match was also good. This was also a match where we had to listen to Alfonso and that whistle. But nonetheless, great match. We saw some tables, RVD taking a sunset flip through the table, and we saw a moment where we didn't think Jerry Lynn was going to be able to continue after falling down hard out of the ring onto the ground. They didn't know if he was able to continue, but he did. And it took two, not one, but two 5-star frog splash to finish off Jerry Lynn for the ECW Television Championship. After the match, RVD and Jerry Lynn would show a sign of respect, but this match was great also. Number 7, we have RVD versus Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam 2001 in a ladder match. Now, some of you saw in my review last year where I did my top 5 from both guys, Trish, Stone Cold, and RVD. I put their match on Raw in the ladder match on that list. I thought that one was great. I thought it was awesome, but I have to put everyone's favorite from SummerSlam 2001 on this particular list. It was a great showing by both men. RVD representing the Alliance, Jeff Hardy representing Smack WWE for the Hardcore Championship. this was great. And this was a match that RVD would win to regain the Hardcore Championship in what was a stellar made match. Fun fact, both men were fan favorites, and though RVD was representing the Alliance, he was very popular amongst fans, even more popular than Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Austin was a heel and pretty good at being a heel at the time. Even though a lot of people think Stone Cold going heel in '01 was not the best move. Nonetheless, great ladder match. I encourage you to check it out. Also, the Raw match that they had in 2002 for the unification of the IC title and European title was also a banger. At number at number 6, we have Lance Storm versus RVD at Guilty as Charged. This match took place at Guilty as Charged 1999, as I said earlier, and this was a match. Lance came out, he cut a bit of a promo about himself and being from Canada, but despite that, Lance is more technical. RVD was able to adjust. And ironically, here's the shocking part: RVD didn't win this match with a 5-star frog splash or anything extreme. He won this match using a German suplex pin combo. Now, think about that. Nonetheless, RVD won the match. He was supposed to have a match with someone else, but that got canceled due to issues. And this match came up, and it was great. And also, the whistle again. And of course, Lance Storm was with Dawn Marie at the time. Don't know, forgot their business relation, but they were working together at that time. Nonetheless, RVD wins the match in a match that I did not expect. This next match, I think Stephanie McMahon would really appreciate. This match took place at Unforgiven 2001, where Chris Jericho faced off in a great match against RVD. And to Stephanie, this match was a match where she was defended for what Jericho and Edge said backstage in a very funny segment about Stephanie McMahon. I think this was around Stephanie McMahon's birthday. And no, he asked how old was she, not how many women guys she slept with. Some of y'all got happy when I accidentally said women. Nonetheless, great match. This match was hardcore rules. We saw ladders, chairs, and it was false count anywhere, as well as we saw Stephanie get involved, which would give RVD a chance to use his spinning kick with the chair and a 5-star frog splash, which would get the win and defend the honor of Stephanie McMahon because of what Jericho said about her having her birthday. Moving on to number 4, we have RVD versus Christian, the man no one can stand on AEW now, on an episode of Raw in a ladder match in September 29, 2003. Ironically, in Chicago, where SmackDown was a couple of days ago. This match was very great. We know that RVD is mixed martial arts and high flying. What we saw was strength because he gorilla press slammed Christian onto a ladder before doing a moonsault, a standing moonsault. But it was the ending that was awesome, where he did a 5-star frog splash from the top of the ladder to incapacitate Christian long enough to go to the top of the ladder and take the Intercontinental Championship for the win. In case you don't get it yet, RVD is not just Mr. Pay-Per-View, but he is Mr. Ladder. Speaking of, here's some more proof. At number 3, we have Eddie Guerrero versus RVD in another ladder match, which took place the previous year on May 27, 2002. This was also a great match, despite the crazy fan interfering and despite the little accident where RVD slipped off the ladder attempting the 5-star. This was still a good match between Eddie and God rest his soul, RVD. The question is, who do you think is the master of the frog splash? You have Eddie Guerrero, RVD, and Montez Ford. So a lot of great frog splash masters out there. Nonetheless, RVD would win this match, but the spotlight wasn't on that. The spotlight was on the fact that Stone Cold came and had a fight with Eddie Guerrero, only to have Ric Flair and Arn Anderson get involved, and hometown man Chris Benoit, who was in the audience, come in and shock the crowd by aligning himself with Eddie Guerrero. But not to take away from RVD. Number 2, we have at Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 22 featuring RVD, Bobby Lashley, Matt Hardy, Finlay, Ric Flair, and Shelton Benjamin. This was a match where RVD would put on a great show, including the highlighted frog splash onto Finlay, and he would go on to win this ladder match, which meant he could cash in whenever he wanted on any champion of his choosing. This would go on to be the choice, would be number 1 on this list, which would be his match with John Cena at ECW, One Night Stand 2006. Now, John Cena was already used to hostile crowds, but when he came to ECW to defend the WWE Championship, the fans were nuts. Let me tell you something. Do not show this to your PG Cena fans. Do not do it, especially that fan who was at front row when John Cena took the beating of his life at SummerSlam 2014. Do not show this fan this to the John Cena kids, because this was crazy. First of all, John Cena kept throwing his shirt at the audience, and the audience kept throwing it back and telling him that he was number 1, and not a good PG fashion. They just threw it back at him. They hauled chants like, "Freak you, Cena, you can't wrestle, same old stuff," and by same old stuff, I mean same old spit. And another chant that I didn't get, would not have understood at the time, because at the time I didn't have internet, but I would not have understood this chant when they were chanting, "The following chant is not PG and viewer discretion is advised." The fans were chanting, "Cena swallows." Yes, I didn't understand what that meant at the time. I didn't even understand what it meant when I was 8 years old and Kurt Angle said, "I may suck, but you just whoa." But in any event, this was a great extreme match between both guys. Fans went nuts. And what was surprising at the end, near the end, was Cena knocking out the official. And surprisingly, RVD would receive help from none other than longtime rival of Cena, Edge. And the fans went ballistic for Edge. Last year, they hated Edge. They were chanting, "We want Matt. You screwed Matt." This year, the next year, they were thanking Edge for spearing Cena through the table, which gave RVD a chance to do the 5-star frog splash. And who would count the 3? None other than the wise man of today, Paul Heyman. Now, those are my picks. What is your all-time favorite RVD match? Let me know in the comments section. I'm about to go toast to Stone Cold Day, but since I'm straight edge, I'm going to toast with a Sprite or a Mountain Dew. Happy birthday to all 3 men. Let me know what is your favorite match in the comment section below. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. That's all the time I have for you today, and I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. See you next time.